Yo, what's going on, people? You are now rocking with the boy Wonder Focus, and you are now tuned in to Just Focus TV. Hear me? Listen, y'all are now tuned in to Just Focus TV, which y'all expect from me every blog. This is getting ready to be a new blog series with me just giving you kind of some nuggets of wisdom, something that you can add to your life. I want to see y'all add some kind of substance to your character, some kind of depth to your character. So I just want to share with y'all some things that that has been shared with me, and I hope that it can add to you mentally. I hope that it can add to you sometimes physically. I hope it can add to you spiritually, and even sometimes financially. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this first blog. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to y'all about today was I want us to focus on forgiveness. I know a lot of times harboring unforgiveness can really affect us in a lot of our day-to-day decisions. It can affect us in our relationships. It can affect us in our friendships, just based upon a lot of times we respond to life based upon our experience and how we perceive things based upon our experiences. And a lot of times when you're harboring unforgiveness in your heart, you'll always perceive things with a negative connotation based upon what you've gone through. A lot of times when you have unforgiveness in your heart, having unforgiveness is like holding on to hot coal and wanting to throw it at somebody, and you expect them to be hurt by it. When you're holding on to hot coal, the only person that you're really harming is yourself. You're the only person who gets burnt. The person who has hurt you, the person who has caused you some kind of pain or affliction, they're living their life. They're going on about their business. They're not thinking about what they've done to you, but yet you're still affected by it. You can't move on in relationships because you're still hurt by the relationship or what somebody else did to you. It's hard for you to trust somebody based upon something that may have taken place in your home when you were younger with your parents. So I want us to focus on forgiveness. Try forgiving somebody. And one of the main things that I want you to focus on, especially this time of year, I want you to learn how to forgive somebody and accept an apology that you've never received. Sometimes it's easier to forgive people when they've given you an apology and when they mean it from their heart and they say, hey, listen, I recognize the wrong that I've done. I see the pain that I've caused you. I see how it's hurt you. I want you to forgive me. I made a mistake. It's really easy to forgive somebody when they've done that. But what happens when they don't give you that apology? What happens when they don't feel like what they did was wrong? Then what? Do you harbor that feeling? Do you harbor that resentment for the rest of your life because the person who hurt you directly, they don't feel like they was wrong? So this is what I need from y'all. I need y'all to get that person on your mind. Get that situation on your mind. Get that individual who has hurt you. Get that situation that has caused you the most pain that you're still holding on to. And I want you to begin to start the process of letting it go. Once you begin to let it go, once you accept the apology that you've never received, now you can start the healing process of moving forward. A lot of times I like to give this analogy. When you're driving in a car, the front window is always bigger because you need to see what's in front of you. The side view mirror or the back windows or whatever, they're always smaller because what's ahead of you is always so much bigger than what's behind you. So let's start the healing process. I want y'all to start forgiving somebody. I want y'all to give me y'all feedback. I need y'all to log into the website. I need y'all to let me know how your healing process has begun and how it has affected you from your day-to-day decisions. Once you've made that decision, I'm going to forgive somebody and I'm not going to allow what somebody else did to continuously affect me in my future endeavors. I need to hear from you. I need to hear your testimonies. I need to hear how you feel about forgiveness. I need your questions if you don't know how to forgive. Come holler at me. Come log on to HelloIamFocus.com. Let's talk about this. Let's forgive somebody. I want y'all to be free. I want y'all to be focused. I want y'all to be forgiven. It's your boy Focus. I'm out. I think that when you're an individual who wears their emotions on your sleeves and you come in passing with the individual who has hurt you and who has caused you the most pain, I personally believe that the best response in that moment, and this is going to be very hard for some people because this is even hard for me because I wear my emotions on my sleeves too. But a lot of times you can't run from the issue, you have to confront it. What I mean by run from it, a lot of times we can see the very person who caused us the most pain. We could be in the same room with them. We could be a couple of feet away from them and we'll look at them and we'll go the other way. Really, when that happens, we know that deep down inside, I really haven't forgiven this person because I haven't been able to confront my pain. I think the healing process can begin when you can confront that pain. When you come face to face with it and you have to embrace it, you have to harvest it, you got to indulge in the moment and say, this has happened, this is happening right now. I think the healing process can actually begin when you go and speak to the person who has caused you the most pain. It's going to be the toughest thing you've had to do because you're going to have to swallow your pride. But I think that when you swallow your pride, it has a better aftertaste than not swallowing your pride and then eventually having to deal with humble pie. So I think you have to go to that person, speak to them. You don't have to be all lovey-dovey. I understand that a lot of times you don't. A lot of times it's good to forgive but never forget. Be aware of what they did, but don't let that be the first thing that comes to your mind. And I think that once you actually embrace that person, or you confront that person and just speak and say hello, even give them a hug maybe if that's what you have to do. Once you do that, I think it'll no longer be the first thing that comes to your mind when you see that person. But when you don't confront it, it'll always be the first thing on your mind when you see him. And you won't be able to really begin that healing process if you come encounter with that person and you can't even speak to him. I think you have to dig deep down inside to get the courage to start the healing process. Because a lot of times when it comes to courage and fear kind of go hand in hand. It's okay to be afraid of starting the healing process. But what courage means is that you choose to be brave in spite of your fear. Heroes are considered to be courageous because if somebody runs into a burning building, they probably were afraid that they might lose their life in the process of trying to save somebody else. But their courage kind of had more influence on than their fear. So a lot of times you have to kind of dig deep within yourself and say, even though I'm afraid of what the outcome may be of this healing process, I'm going to be brave in spite of my fear and still approach this person, because if I never do it, how will I ever really know if I'm able to begin that healing process? I do not think that there is an act that is unforgivable from a spiritual aspect. Just for the simple fact, there are some things, for prime example, let's just be all the way transparent. I have consulted with so many people. I know people who have suffered domestic abuse, they have suffered sexual abuse, and naturally, you may feel like that's unforgivable. This person put their hands on me. I can't forgive them. This person raped me. I can't forgive them. Because of the hurt that this person has caused me, I can never forgive them for what they've done. But just from and I didn't want to go here, but just from a spiritual aspect, if we cannot forgive other people for their transgressions, no matter how egregious it may have been, how can we kind of expect God to forgive us for our transgressions? And it takes more than just something natural to forgive somebody who has done something like that. It's only going to take God's power and God stepping in and saying, listen, I have healing power. I can heal you from that hurt. You have to allow God to step into your situation and help you to do it. A lot of times on our own, we cannot find the strength and the courage within ourselves a lot of times to forgive people for the most egregious acts. But when we kind of step out of the way and say, all right, God, I really need you to step in and help me forgive this person who raped me. I need you to help me to forgive this person who I saw put their hands on my mother. I need you to step in and help me forgive the person who I trusted with my heart, I trusted with my body, and they screwed me over. They completely hurt me. They took my heart and they broke it into a million pieces. I on my own can't do it. So God, I need you to step in. I'm desperate for you to step in, because if you don't step in and help me to forgive them, they'll never be forgiven. So sometimes you got to challenge yourself to put your pride to the side and say, listen, God, here I am. I'm hurt. I'm broken. I'm wounded. I'm upset. I'm frustrated. I got hatred in my heart. I got unforgiveness in my heart. I need you to help me. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of times, our greatest weakness, or when we find ourselves the weakest, is really when God can come in and perfect his strength. It's when we're at our weakest moment that God's strength is so evident in our life. Because when we run out of strength, that's when we need his strength to come in and say, okay, I got you. Even though you can't do this on your own, let me strengthen you to forgive somebody so that I can continue to forgive you. Yo, what's going on, people? You are now rocking with the boy Wonder Focus, and you are now tuned in to Just Focus TV. You hear me?